Hello folks, it's been a real long time since I've done a YouTube layout update, and I thought, well, I've got some new stuff on the layout and I guess it'd be time. So let's start in Hearst, where we've changed up Hearst. The East End Hearst is a little bit more prototypical. We've changed up, so there's I'm making the plywood mill that was in East Hearst, Levesque plywood, and then we changed up, added Superior propane that actually used to be at the opposite end of the layout at Hearst. We moved it to the east end, more prototypical, and then we put a Petro-Canada in as well. And then we changed up United Lumber, which now has some loading docks and a little bit of photo backdrop I've been messing around with, chip loading, and as well a little bit more photo backdrops. I had put a request out on the Canadian Railway Modelers group on Facebook and got some great pictures from a few folks and changed things up. So it's just a rough mock-up here, and I added in the switch and spur, and it flows a lot better now. For this end of the layout, I actually enjoy switching it a little bit more than I used to. Yeah, so some of the traffic comes again off the CP or the CN or AC, depending on where it's coming from. So did end up picking up a 420. I doubt they ever made it into Hearst, but pretty cool model. Rapido did a nice job overall on them, and yeah, I'm super happy with it. Runs nice, and also been adding some keep alives to some of my older proto units, which has made a huge difference in how they operate. Did add in, changed up the pole yard. It's hard to tell whether it was actually there in Hearst or not, but for Great Lakes Power. But I did add in Les Enterprises concrete plant. It's kind of hard to tell where it was in Hearst on the old drawings. I do think it was at the other end of Hearst. But with the way my layout is, this works out. So we get shipments of product in from the CP, CN, depending on where the cement of the day comes from. These are Rapido hoppers that I did up a while back. They're pretty nice, second run, great looking units, or cars, sorry. Not too much new over here. The old part of the layout here, the original part that I started on, is still the same. Did end up picking up an Athearn Genesis Jeep 38. I changed it to 3072. One of the units I had an opportunity to ride on in Sault Ste. Marie when I was a young lad. And also changed up the way the ore loads come and go off the layout. I actually have them in a smaller cut now coming out of the ore division in Wawa. And they actually come on and off the layout now, where before I had them just sitting in Hawk Junction, and I would just take the loads out and make them into empties as if they were coming from Sault Ste. Marie. So now they actually come on and off the layout. And then I did change up kind of some in and out tracks at the ore yard up here, so there's a little bit more switching to do. So the loads come in on the first two tracks and the empties kind of come out on the last two tracks. So as the ore train leaves Hawk Junction and comes up the Helix, you actually stop at Wawa now and pick up and sort out some cars before you make your way to the harbor in Michipicoten. So yeah, again, for those of you who haven't seen this for a while, pretty much everything's the same as is at this end of the layout, upper and lower. Upper level, of course, is the branch line to the harbor at Michipicoten. And then the lower levels, the northern subdivision from Hawk Junction to Hearst, Ontario at Franz and Oba are the interchange points. But what I have done, I have worked on Tremblay, and it was a pulp log reload. I think there was a scale house here at one point. I did put in a bit of a longer backtrack here so I could store some work train equipment, cycle out different loads. I'll probably be able to spot some diesel fuel tank cars in here for the logging guys. But this is the most recent addition that I've just finished here in the last few weeks. turned out really good. I'm super happy with how it turned out. Shout out to Jason Baxter for doing the backdrop photo of the road there. It turned out pretty good for blending in and such. So this pulp log load reload here is mostly bound for Sault Ste. Marie, St. Mary's paper. And on my layout, these pulp logs are bound for the pulp mill at the very north end of the layout as well. So most of the little details are added. I've got to touch up and add some little bushes and stuff like that here and there. My layout is being featured on a virtual tour for British Columbia here in May. So I wanted to get some stuff tidied up and dialed in for for the layout tour. But gives you an idea of the overview of Tremblay. So there is a local that services the area, and as well as the ore train runs on this sub as well. This side, again, Canadian Propane and Texaco. Not too sure the real prototype, if there was actually two switches. I think there was just one long lead into these two industries that kind of paralleled Highway 17 just outside of Wawa, but I've added two switches in here just for operations. Of course, Highway 17, well, there's the fuzz. You must be watching trains. So Highway 17, and you're looking towards Thunder Bay here, and foreground is heading towards Sault Ste. Marie. So yeah, little things I've been adding here and there. I'm going to start working on this section, dialing in for log and reload here as well for pulp logs, the diamond. I've got signals being made at BC Robotics right now. Thanks to David Bedard for the signals, or the sorry, not the signals, but the station. Of course, you guys know that he built the Olba and Franz station for me. I really appreciate the work he's done, and of course the details at Olba for the CN ACR maintenance away shacks and such. And it looks like today there's a work train tied up on the backtrack for CN. So the cars on this line here are the cars bound for the CN interchange cars, and then those are to come out or go into for the ACR. So as you can see, a little bit of work being done. Overview. Probably at some point I'm going to start the Oba Lake trestles and get those going on this part of the layout. A little bit of work, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. They're going to look pretty awesome. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to build and get dialed in and go from there. So a few of the trackside signs are up, done by Black Cat, brass etched, stamped, much like the prototype was on the ACR, as you can see here. Sorry. Switch stands are by Osborne Models. Though they're laser etched wood, I guess, but they still look really good for what they are. Miniatures by Eric. Working derails. They actually take a little bit of work to grind them out and get them kind of so the plows will go over top of them, but once you get them done, it's actually a pretty cool little detail. I did add in switches, or keys, sorry. Just pretend, but lock, unlock, as if you gotta take the lock off the derail as well. Hadn't really done them for the switches, but we'll see. As time goes on, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's about it for now. It's 10 minutes of me talking, and hope you guys are doing well and loving the hobby and all that sort of stuff. And you know, I come in 10 minutes here and there, 15 minutes here and there, and little things like that, get a lot done. And I've always stuck to, since I started this layout, is 10 feet at a time. So this is a little bit better than 10 feet, but this was about 2 months to complete, month and a half. You know, and you just plug away and put your head down and get her done. A little bit more to do on the upper level till we get to the harbor, but you know, time persists, and as time allows, we're getting into the summertime, so we won't be doing too much in here, but you know, just as a thought for you guys, a little bit here and there helps, right? So it may seem like a daunting task, but you got to start somewhere, and if you start small, by the time you understand how far you've come, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that's what I've got done. Stay safe, guys.